Alright, welcome back. My last video, you saw me cast iron cook with a cast iron stove and a cast iron Dutch oven. Something else I've been wanting to do. Made this a few years ago, never tried it. Built my own tripod. Of course, I have the Ozark Trail pot that I'm trying to restore. Still needs a lot of work. Anyway, the tripod. Most people make them adjustable with a chain right here, where you can adjust your height up and down. I didn't make this one adjustable. I mean, I do have another hook I can grab onto. My height above the ground is about 12 inches. So your heat control, instead of adjusting, will be your fire. You either put more heat in or take heat out to adjust your control. But it's a simple construction. I use scrap that I picked up. I want to say this is 32 inches tall off the ground, and it can support my whole 190 pounds of weight putting on it. It doesn't move the way I designed it. I'll show you a little more about the design. I could hook up higher there, so I do have some height adjustment options. I can also adjust the height. Let me put the pot back on. If you move any one of the legs, you can adjust the height. You can raise or lower. I picked the wrong leg. This leg right here. You can raise or lower. But a common problem with tripods, everything's swinging. See, I do have some height adjustment. And when you pull the lid off, if you got a full pot of liquid, you need to be careful not to tilt the pot. Which it doesn't tilt much, but if you got a full pot, then that's something you need to consider. To make the tripod, I simply there's some nuts, some extra nuts I had laying around, and there's a bolt that I slightly bent. I got a curved bolt with a handle on it. And the purpose of the curve, it'd be hard for me to do it with one hand, but when you pick this thing up, you twist the bolt and all the legs fold straight. I don't think I can do that on camera without a tripod. Let me try. It's probably not gonna be a good view. Let me see. I'll get my phone to stay, and it will not. Well, okay. We'll see what kind of view you got there. You might fall, but when you pick up, you simply turn it, and all the legs fold up. On the bottom of my feet, I welded some washers. I don't know if this coming in the frame. The washer stopped it from sinking in the ground. I left a little stub on the bottom. This is simply some threaded rod for like a cable spool that I found. And when you set this back up, you open it up, you just turn it. I'm 190. It's very solid. It's a simple design. Took me 20 minutes to make out of scrap parts. I did make another one just like this for a friend of mine. His is a foot taller with a chain for adjustment. I chose to build this one without a chain. It's a pretty good accessory. I've never actually used it. So I think maybe tonight I'll cook a meal, maybe bake some chicken in a cast iron pot. Maybe not that pot, or I'd have to start working on the seasoning now to be used tonight. But I really want to build a fire, clean this up and season this just like the pot. This has been hanging in my shed. Oh, 2 or 3 years it's been hanging in my shed. I want to say 2 years. 2 years ago I built it, maybe a little longer. And oh, this handle, when you swivel it all the way around and it folds up, this is also hooked to hang it. You can just hang it on something. That was easy to build, easy thinking. Like I said, I just used 1, 2, 3, 4 nuts. I want to say there were 7/16 nuts that I had left over, and all this is scrap of some 3/8 round bar. And these little hangers, I forgot what they come from. It was something from scrap. There were some hooks I cut off of something else, and I just welded it on. This is a bolt that I curved and like a, you know, it ain't got much of a curve. It's straight here and then it starts to curve up. Slight curve on it. And then once I welded all these nuts to these legs, I passed the bolt through, threaded another on, and I welded it where it couldn't come off. And this eye, I couldn't tell you what this eye comes from. I couldn't tell you what the eye comes from. It was just something I found laying around and it served my purpose well. But I could have gone with just a sharp piece and a J-hook. That's what I have in the pot. It's called a J-hook. The reason I went longer is because when you fold it up, everything fits pretty neat. If I put a J-hook, it would hang up right here and it wouldn't allow it to fold flat. This probably weighs a good 3 or 4 pounds. It's lighter than the cast iron pot, but I like it. I think I'll use it. I built it and never used it. It's just been hanging around in my shed. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and I guess get my pot ready. Either I've got to finish seasoning this pot, or I've got to install a J-hook on my other pot, which is not hard to do. I have 2 of these identical Ozark Trail cast iron pots, a cast iron Dutch oven. When I bought them, I paid $16 or $17 a piece 2 years ago. They were at Walmart, and I figured, well, why they were that cheap, I'm gonna buy 2 of them. Now they're like $30, $35. This one never been cooked in. I've done a quick seasoning and I left it outside to see how it would stand up against the elements. It's been out for 2 years. As you can see, the color, it did rust. Yesterday I re-seasoned it. I wire brushed the rust off and I re-seasoned it. I've done it indoors with my dogs, and I see I've got dog fur embedded in the seasoning. That's what this scratch is. I scratch a piece of fur out. See? So I guess I need to scratch all that out and go re-season this. It's gonna be hard because my dogs still live in the house. But the dog fur is not gonna hurt anything, you know. But still, well, you can see the gold color. That's a rust band. This pot sat with water in it. And, you know, I neglected the pot intentionally to see how well it would last outside. I do have a cast iron pot that is unseasoned and it's totally rusted, probably beyond repair. It can probably be repaired. It's a large pot a buddy of mine gave me. He used it on a propane burner, and he forgot about it and let it run dry, and the heat warped the bottom. So he just got fed. Here, you can have it. So I've got it somewhere laying around. It's a bigger pot, and the same diameter, but it's like 2 inches taller. It's a large. I forget how many quarts in the detail. Anyway, I'm rambling. The Dutch oven has these little legs on it and has the China stamp. When I originally bought this, my intention was to cut the legs off to use this one on a stove top. But on my gas stove, I can take this and put it down and turn it, and it fits right in to where my it fits perfect on the stove like a regular pot. You have to turn it a certain way. So I didn't cut the legs. The purpose of the legs, you put charcoal underneath, and you put charcoal on top of this big raised lip. You place your charcoal and this becomes an oven. That's why they're called Dutch ovens. You can use them on the ground with a tripod or with a regular stove. So I decided to leave the legs. I'm glad I did. Alright, well, thank y'all for stopping by, and if I wind up using it and making a meal, I'll definitely post up a video about it. Thank y'all for viewing.